beginning. Step up, let's get the next one, remember the kill. You don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Step up, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain that I bring. You know it's only the beginning. Stop breaking the minute inside you. Stop making some monster hide you. I'm breaking the limit inside you. Stop making some monster hide you. I'm breaking the limit inside you. Stop making some monster.
Well, hello. Here we are at the Total Nonstop podcast. Let me go ahead and bring on my guest. You all know him, Mr. Gene Emerson, all the way up there in Moose Country. How you doing, Gene?
Good. How are you doing,
How cold's the weather up there right now? I just got to know.
It's actually, what was it? Today was like +9. So, yeah.
Ooh, well,
so it was nice.
Yeah, that's a little too far. A little too far north for me there, brother. Well, as everyone knows, we have the NXT 31 recap. It's probably been like we had talked about in a couple of the shows with Paradigm Shift and others. It's probably one of the better pay-per-views that they've had in a long time. And that's saying a lot for NXT. We're going to go ahead and dive right on into it, not waste no time. The first matchup was the North American Championship between Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano. From what I got here in my notes, Gargano got in a lot of offensive very, very early, including missile drop kicks and flying sentons. Priest wrapped up in ropes. Priest eventually remained the momentum with a flatliner and the broken arrow. Let me tell you something, man. This match was fire as shit. It's one of the reasons I don't care what people try to say about Johnny Gargano. It makes me want to slap him when I see the haters that Johnny has. I don't care what anyone says. Johnny Gargano has probably been one of the two guys there for a whole year at NXT that kept me interested in NXT when there was not really much else going on. Mm-hmm. That was the main story focus was between him and
Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso. I don't know why I couldn't think of his damn name. It's not one of my favorite guys. That sucks. I disrespected you, Tommaso. I'm sorry. I feel like I've let you down, man. That really makes me sad. I couldn't think of your name right there. But their matches was nothing but 5 stars every time they put it on. Damian Priest is a guy that I know that if anybody had watched Damian Priest from back in the day, some of his other stuff that he's done, you knew Damian Priest was going to be a star one day. Especially when he showed up in NXT, you could definitely tell that he's probably going to be a star. So
for sure.
They decided to put the North American strap on him. Great move. Was not a bad decision. The guys that they had in that mix for that North American title, he was probably the best fit in my eyes. Mm-hmm. They put on an easy 4 or 5 star match. But, of course, Priest defends Gargano and retains the title, which I thought was very, very great because some people really thought they was going to put Gargano back over there. I said it was way too soon to make him drop the belt. It would have killed his momentum. Even the stupid little stuff. Priest has a way of being a little arrogant too. That's pretty fun too. You know, like the way he was in the hot tub and with the girls, kind of like Rob Van Dam and Triple H come out there. You know, he had the belt in the hot tub. You know, it made belt collectors cringe because he had that belt in the hot tub. But it was great, man. It was great match. Easily an A, man. Easily.
Oh, definitely.
Let's see what we got going on over here. All right, let's go scroll down. We'll go on to our next match. Next up, you had Kushida versus the Velveteen Dream. Easily a great match. Who I'm looking at right here, they gave it a B. I couldn't even give it a B, man. That was an A+ match in my.
It was perfect to see Kushida look dominating because. I followed a lot of Kushida in New Japan doing the time splitters with him and Alex Shelley, and he was dominated, and there was a reason why he's a 6-time light heavyweight champion. You just don't get that for not being dominating, and Kushida finally showed that, and the whole package that they had leading up, everything was perfect because it made you feel like, okay, either Dream's going to bury this guy or Kushida's got to find something to beat him with, and he went all out.
And they told the story very, very beautifully, too, if you pay attention, like Gene has said. When Kushida come out and he jumped Velveteen Dream the weeks prior, what did he do? He pulled Velveteen's shoulder into the post. Kushida's a submission specialist. That was that little kind of detail is the shit I love when they pay attention to little bitty detail stuff like that. Kushida, by the way, attacked Dream before the bell had even rang.
being normal Dream dressed up as Doc.
Yeah, I mean,
Back to the
Dream
Future.
always does these crazy tights and gimmick the stuff that he puts on. Like he's had the Hollywood Hogan, he's had the Rick Rude stuff for the with Johnny when he was messing with Johnny. He had his wives on the tights and stuff. So it was very good. Dream, of course, had a couple of his Dream Valley drivers, which is a beautiful move. He does that DVD so beautiful. It is so beautiful. He hits it and rolls it right back up. It's nice, but shocker, shocker, shocker. Most people were probably shocked by this. Kushida defeated the Velveteen Dream by via submission. Now, he locked him in this submission more than once. He didn't just lock it in and beat him. And I'm going to say this, but that's why I just cannot buy the buried word here so much, because Dream did not just get his ass whipped. Dream put up a damn good fight. And Kushida is just a dangerous dude, man. I mean, he's always been dangerous.
Yeah, he showed it. And the funny thing about it was Dream's going for the Dream Valley driver, and you see it as he's twisting in. He locks in the hoverboard lock, and he leaves it in. And that's it. You're literally hearing Velveteen Dream like, he's giving up. Get him off, get him off, get him off. It's like, I'm done.
Next up, we had a match that I was pretty interested in seeing. WWE has a tendency of screwing this division up, but the Cruiserweight Championship is pretty hot right now, in my opinion. You got Santano's Escobar. Please, I don't know why they named him that. They could have kept the Escobar out of it and put something else in it. That's just too much cocaine-related type God Lord stuff there. I don't know why they used that. That's probably some of Vince's stupid shit. Well, what should we call him? Well, no, Escobar sounds like a good name. Ain't he Mexican? That sounds like some shit Vince would say. He versus Isaiah Swerve, who I'm a very big fan of. Isaiah Swerve's probably a big piece of talent that's looked over by a lot of people. There was a part in that match where Swerve found his momentum with a roadhouse clothesline jumping elbow from the mid rope, rolling flatliner and a DDT with Escobar. Man, it was a beautiful move. Squatting from the mid turnbuckle for a couple of near falls. The winner in this match, they rated it an A. I would have gave it an A. The same. I don't disagree with that one. Escobar defeats Swerve Viva pinfall to retain as your cruiserweight champion of NXT. I love what they're doing.
And there was some shenanigans outside, but Swerve had his buddy to come out, try to break that up, and that's what led to his Swerve's downfall of winning. Because I think if that hadn't have happened, if let's say the writing being the way it was, they didn't throw the Swerve in there to try to swerve, he would have won and been your new champion. But
who could be up next? I don't see Swerve getting another shot right away, so who could it be?
I would say either the buddy that came out and helped him, or I would say, and I know right now they're really building the Killian and Devin there, or Rockstar Spud. I still think it was Rockstar Spud. They're still trying to push that a lot. I would like to see Spud actually go for a Intercontinental title shot. So
we shall see. For those that don't know, too, if you'll look it up, I don't have the picture here to show, but they just got NXT just got their new recruiting class in. I think it was about a good mix of people. It was maybe 8 to 10 people. I didn't recognize any faces right off the bat. But that's because I don't watch a whole lot of indie wrestling no more. I just don't have the time. It's hard, and it's just I just don't. I don't have the time to sit down and try to watch it and everything else I got going on. So usually I'm not hearing about guys until they're coming up in NXT or AEW's grabbing them or someone. So we'll move it on along. Let's see how many matches we got left.
2, but there was There was actually an announcement right after the Cruiserweight Championship was done, and what's going to be on the 28th of October. They're bringing back, for after 20 years, Halloween Havoc.
Yes, and please, ladies and gentlemen of the fans, let's quit being so damn sour about this, okay? I have seen on numerous pages of people bitching about this. They're going to screw it up. It's not going to be the same. Well, guess what? Every time anything from my childhood that I try to relive is not the same, okay? It will never be the same.
Nope.
I have no problem with NXT redoing Halloween Havoc. They have Chauncey Blackheart on there, which is going to be very killer. I love her, man. She's fucking awesome.
He's going to be the host. So
it's going to be the host. It's going to be my only argument was I wanted a giant pumpkin. That was it. That was all I wanted was the giant pumpkin. If they can give me the giant pumpkin, I don't care what happens on that pay-per-view. I'll be totally happy because because of the simple fact that it's just one of those things. I don't care that it was a WCW pay-per-view.
No,
I don't care. War Games is a WCW. You know,
but it works perfectly with NXT. The way NXT does their versions or their styles of former past pay-per-views, it's always been good. I don't mind War Games. I know there's no roof on it, or whoop-de-damn-do, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's enjoyable. I like it. They use it correctly. Unlike if this would be in, and I hate to say it, if it was in Raw, SmackDown, or you had a pay-per-view based around it, and this had Vince's hand, more of his hand on it, it would be messed up. And after a while, we'd get sick and tired of it and be like, nah, don't want to watch it. Don't want to watch that pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ask a question because this has been a pretty good hot topic here lately, especially since they've announced that they're going to bring back Halloween Havoc. Cody Rhodes, who wants pretty much everything that his daddy has ever touched, whether if it was an idea of his, a pay-per-view of his, or whatever the case may be, Cody believes that he owns the rights to it. WWE don't want to give those rights. So I'm going to go ahead and ask a question, Gene. I'm going to ask you, then I want people who are watching, whether it's now or later on after they watch it, after we went live, please tell me if you think that what your thoughts are on it also. Should Cody be able to get these pay-per-view names and use them at AEW, or is it? Some people look at it as it's a slap in the face to Cody that WWE's doing it just to push it. But I will say this. Let me go ahead and say this before Gene answers me. Dusty Rhodes, in my opinion, has more connection to NXT than he ever will with AEW. Okay, I understand that is his sons that are over there that are pushing that product, and it's Cody and it's Dusty that's over doing it. But their daddy never had nothing to do with AEW. He died before it was even thought of. Nope. NXT, NXT is Dusty's brain. It was his idea. It was all his setup. So Dusty Rhodes has a huge connection to NXT. I don't have a problem when WWE talks about Dusty Rhodes, or I don't have a problem when WWE brings it up with NXT and they show pictures of Dusty Rhodes going with it, because it's absolutely 100% true.
That's right.
He worked for that company. Yep. He's a Hall of Famer in that company. Why the hell would WWE not talk about Dusty Rhodes?
And I would want to answer you the way it should be. Technically, Dusty Rhodes was an employee of the WWE. NXT is a sub-company of the WWE. It was Dusty's idea. He wanted to take the game show aspect out and turn it into actual wrestling, because WWE had a couple flops with their outsourced wrestling, like OVW and Florida Championship Wrestling, and it didn't go. It didn't mesh. It didn't work. Right. So they said, we had this NXT idea. What can you do with it? Dusty's like, you let me do it. And he brought in Triple H, and they just formulated it, and it worked. It worked. Yes, Dusty and the WWE should be entangled because, one, he's Hall of Fame in that company, and they have the right to the intelligent property that he owned. It's not owned by Cody Rhodes. It's owned by the WWE. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? To all those people of AEW, I get it. It's his sons over there. Would Dusty be over there if he was still alive?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell,
I think he would. But I would say yes.
I would say definitely yes, especially having both his sons over there. Oh, yeah, he'd be over back in that company like crazy, and not give a damn that he pissed Vince off when he did it. No. But I mean, it's just like we're talking about. Okay, I'll give Cody this. Mm-hmm. He deserves to have. If he wants to use the American Dream name, he should be able to use the American Dream name.
That's right.
I'll give him that. But as far as every time him thinking that his daddy had an idea and somehow it belongs to him, and then you get these marks over in AEW who get all pissed off and say, "See, that's just how Vince is." Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that Cody could have went a whole different way about trying to get these assets. Mm-hmm. He went the hard way about trying to get these assets. When you go and start the competition, and then you put your show on the same night that the other competition's on, and then you got hundreds of shots that you've took. I wouldn't have sold them to him either. I'd have been like, why would I sell you something that you're going to use to fight me? That does not make any sense from a business standpoint. People don't look at things that Vince does sometimes from a business standpoint. That makes no damn sense. That would be like Coca-Cola telling Pepsi what their ingredient is in their Coke, so they can copy it and market it and make money off of it. And why would you keep buying Coke when you could buy something that's 20 cents cheaper over here by Pepsi? It's common business sense. I wouldn't give it to him either. And out of all fairness, is another point I want to make is they've been using those pay-per-view names before AEW. That's what you marks forget. Yeah. War Games has been going on ever since NXT just about. That's a Dusty Rhodes idea.
That's right.
So get over yourself, people. All right, man. We're going to do something that we don't ever do, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually going to have a commercial break. Now, I ain't talking about like in the way Brandon's been doing in a paradigm shift as a joke. Everybody knows that the Total Nonstop collecting that is popping off is brought to you by Pinfall Productions. I've teamed up with Pinfall Productions, and they have many shows. One of those shows being the Paradigm Shift. It comes on every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central Time. I will now be taking over for Brandon until Brandon can come back. So we're going to go ahead and step away for a minute, let y'all have a small commercial break. Go grab your drink, go take you a piss if you want to. But here's your nice intro to enjoy till we get right back. That is the Paradigm Shift. You can catch it every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. Brought to you by Pinfall Productions. The host on that show will be me, Gene, Mr. Rob Wiley, and also is it
William H.D. Morgan?
William H.D. Morgan, Mr. Morgan. It's a very entertaining show. Let's go ahead and move it along now. We're gonna go on to the women's championship match for NXT Takeover 31. Oh man, this was good. This was pretty good. You had your old champion here versus Candice LeRae.
Yep. Io Shirai.
Man, she is so awesome. I'm so glad they put the belt on her. Like when they almost did it that one time before they gave it, I think it was right before Ripley won it, and it looked like they were starting when she flipped heel that time, and it looked like they were starting to move that way towards it. I wanted her to hold it so damn bad. It was like between her and Bianca. I was like, I don't care which one they give it to, as long as it's one of them before they end up giving it to Rhea. But anyway, this match was pretty damn good. It was pretty action, very fast pace. Shirai doing this crazy stuff that she does, man. She's probably one of the most talented women, I think, that's probably in the ring, man. These monkey flips that she does and hitting with these springboard boards and these moonsaults off the mid rope. And
the drop kick that she hit LeRae with, man, oh man. Like it was like right here. Like there's no way. If I was a LeRae, I would be feeling that in the morning. Like, dude. And the thing she does every time she does a flip and whatnot, she just plays with the pantomime with those hands and everything, like, haha, I'm better than you. I know it. Like, it's just, I love you, Shirai.
There was a spot in the match where LeRae took advantage of Shirai and hit her with a wicked stepsister finisher. That's a pretty cool move. Pretty cool name, too.
Yeah.
But there was no referee to count.
And that's when Johnny decided to play ref. That was the funniest shit ever. Seeing him come down, got the ref shirt on, slides in, 1, 2, and then
he he fast counted too, like crazy. Like it was like one of those Steve Austin counts. You know, he used to do like one of those kind of counts almost. It was a real good match. Shirai drilled LeRae with a Spanish fly. from the top rope. It was a pretty good move, pretty cool. Got the hit the moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. Shroud defends. At the pay-per-view, it's too early to take it away from her. She's too hot. I don't understand. I think if you're going to take it off of her and put it on someone, you got a couple of people that's coming in. You got
first it was Tony Storm made her appearance. She's saying, hey, we've been friends and all. I'm coming for it. And just remember, it's Tony time. So we were all like, oh, wow, awesome, Tony Storm. And then flip over, biker thing has been going on for a couple days. And all of a sudden, who is it? Ember Moon. It's good to see Ember Moon back home in NXT.
It is so good to see her back home in NXT. I don't have a problem. If they're here's the thing too, that people get mad about the call-ups. If they would do the call-ups correct and call them up, and if it didn't work out, to send them right back, I would then I wouldn't mind a call-up so bad. But they have a tendency of calling them up and then leaving them up there on the call-up for over a year and don't use their ass, and then it's just like they go stale. Mm-hmm. Another name that's been tossed around has come back to NXT also was Mr. Aleister Black. It's been tossed around that they're kind of reach small, like kind of not really repackaging, but adding a couple little features here and there, and they're going to bring him back. And I could definitely maybe see him coming for that NXT title once again. There's a mini storylines that would be good to mix him up in. Instead of wasting him on Raw, sitting in the closet, talking to himself and with an eye patch, and
We're going to add him with the Firefly Funhouse and be a new character there,
Right. Ember Moon definitely had that Mad Max character looking with the spikes, and her hair was shaved into a mohawk.
She got the good feel. It's good to see her, and then this week on NXT, it was really good to hear what she had to say. She's getting the cadence on the mic right. I think that's why they sent her back down for, because she was great in performing in the ring on Raw and SmackDown. It's just her mic skills weren't there. Now she's able to come back and hone that. That's what I'm seeing, and that's a good thing.
Well, it's main event time.
Yes, it is.
I knew this match was going to be good. Anybody that says this match went 5 stars, get out of my face. Get out of my face. Kyle O'Reilly just proved in this match that he could carry a company if you put a belt on his ass. Easily. Him and Finn Balor just had this New Japan beat the living dog shit out of each other match. And it's probably like one of those type of matches that I feel like sometimes WWE's missing. Even on NXT, they don't have these just these raw, emotional, hard hitting matches, man. And you could just see it, man. Kyle O'Reilly sold that match the entire time. Finn sold that match the entire time. They both made each other look like 100% goes. Neither one of them. Yeah. They're probably two guys that you could say this is what a professional wrestler should motivate themselves to be like. They didn't step on each other's toes. They wanted to make sure that both guys come out looking like a rose in this, and they didn't try to bury each other.
Been like, I think for them, 15 years or something in the making. Every time O'Reilly has been in a place where every time Finn had just left. This is their first actual, that's a long time to not actually, you've interacted with the person, not to say that you never interacted. You've interacted, but you've never wrestled the guy for that long. And this is their first meeting, and it's for a major title. You know what I mean? And seeing O'Reilly, other than seeing him as a tag team guy, unlike myself, who's been nice enough or good enough to be able to follow a guy like O'Reilly in his career, early on, and saying, okay, yeah, that guy is going to be something someday. That guy's going to make, he's going to be a major effect in a company. To see that happen now was phenomenal.
Mr. Brandon there said Black and Ciampa would be great. It would be definitely, man. There's just it's just too. That's going to be a good match, man. Yeah. Just like it was when it was Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream. That was a kick-ass match too, man. That takeover. I think that was War Games. They did that match at, if I'm not mistaken. That was a badass match, man. Badass. All that's going to do to me is rise the stock in NXT if Aleister Black shows back up.
Well, right now you're starting to see with NXT. Now they're in the Capitol Wrestling Center. they're putting and bringing in guys right. They're making Balor look the way Balor did over in New Japan, which is why he signed to come to WWE. Like, you're getting the Prince Devon from there. You're getting O'Reilly and Fish. You're getting the Red Dragons. You're getting exactly what you've paid for, and it's paying off now. It's all coming to fruition. And that match just proved it. That match made both guys look good. They told a great story. Both guys got injured by the end of the night. They were feeling the match. And then, yeah, it sort of left us a little bit on a cliffhanger with the whole Adam Cole and what was going on. And it was almost like, I hate to say it, even though the match was great, it was almost like Undisputed Era or Cole was trying to take a stab at taking something away from O'Reilly. Like Cole had to still be the center focus of something.
Yeah.
And by the end, you know what I mean? We get the
I'm not going to lie. They ended it totally different. I thought this was the flipping point. I thought this might have been a flipping point. They've been to me they're planting the seeds for that. They've been planting the seeds for that for a while. Just like kind of like the jealousy sort of, but I always figured it would be Strong. They would end up flipping on. Like, I figured it would be Strong would be the first one out since he was the last one in. But Riley would be a good one to flip, to split out too, because it would still work. You still could run Undisputed Era without Riley if you had to, and it still would work. It would suck without him, but it would still work. You know what I mean? So, my mind went blank. What was I about to say?
But
I know what I was about to say. As Gene was saying, you're getting the Prince. He is a little watered down compared to what he was in New Japan, especially his mic skills, because he had such a foul mouth over in New Japan. Like, dude, it was ridiculous. But you're pretty much getting that same type of character. Let me go ahead and just say, for all the people that laughed at NXT that made the decision to put that belt on Finn, you need to take your right hand and you need to pull it across and slap the taste out your damn mouth, because that was the dumbest thing some of the people ever said. They shouldn't have took it off Adam Cole. You can always put it back on Adam Cole. You can't have a belt to go stale, because in my eyes, I'm a huge Adam Cole fan, but it was starting to go a little bit stale. Finn Balor is a guy, even though we'll talk about it here in a minute, the downside of all this bullshit that happened. But Finn Balor is a guy that can carry your company. Finn Balor, if they wouldn't have put that belt on Finn, we wouldn't have probably got this damn match like this. It wouldn't have mattered as much. But to move it on alone, the downside of this was Kyle O'Reilly come away with some injuries. I think he had a cracked rib, had to have his CAT scan. Mr. Finn Balor had broken jaw in 2 places, where Kyle O'Reilly literally kicked the shit out of him in the jaw. These guys went to the edge. It's something that you don't see a lot of matches these days do, where they're that hard and they push it that hard. As Mr. Emerson said here, at the end of it, you had a surprise attack, I guess you could say. We didn't see the attack. He just showed up out of nowhere with Ridge Holland appeared at the barricade with Adam Cole over his shoulder and dumped Cole into the ringside area. Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish runs down acting like they didn't know what was going on and kept asking them what was happening and if anyone saw anything. The thing that was funny about this whole thing, they were like looking at I hate sometimes when they do this kind of stuff because the acting come off so cheesy. I love Bobby Fish, but him and Strong both oversold this and cheesed the hell out of the acting on it, because it was like, did you see anything? Finn, did you see anything? Like,
Finn walks over and he looks, and then they ask him, did you see anything? And he's like, no. And then they're talking to the pandering to some of the people that are banging and stuff, and they're, did you guys see anything? And O'Reilly's hurt. Like, you can tell he is hurt. He's there laying there like that, and they go over to O'Reilly, did you see anything? O'Reilly, did you, like, it's almost like he did this, and it's like, what?
I would have said at the time, it was like, Finn, did you see anything? And Finn's like, I can't fucking talk. My jaw's broke.
Yeah. Like, dude, it's almost like, dude, I gotta go. It's gonna be wired shut here. Like,
What's up, Mr. James? How are you doing, Mr. Garland? Yeah, man. Like he was talking about his beat to death, had his shirt all ripped. When Bobby Fish and them come down, as soon as they come past about right there where that first post is about the time that Holland was walking towards the back. clear as day, you could have seen him. I mean, it was not like the dude is huge. You know, it's not like he was a little bitty dwarf dude. You know, the ending of that part of it they could have left out. That was my only complaint about NXT was they could have left that out. To me, like Gene said, it took away it was like a way of trying to take away the shine from Kyle O'Reilly's match.
Yeah.
Which they might be able to use that later on. You know.
Yeah.
You even had to get your ass beat. You even got your ass beat to make sure you stole some of my attention.
Yeah, yeah. But like that was to me the only thing. Like even the kickoff, like or the start off to the show with the whole package of selling this new arena they're in, the Capitol Wrestling Center, giving it the backstory and the back to the 1977, bringing it all back home and everything like that. And then you end it that way, which felt like you had got here and you just, we're climax. We're just going to drop. Well,
yeah,
didn't know how to end it.
That was pretty bad. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be all for the NXT news. We're going to move it along. We're not going to talk about much more, but one thing I do want to talk about is a couple of other little things. Speaking of some of the wrestling that we're talking about, of course, we don't just cover one show here on the Total Nonstop podcast. We cover many shows on the Total Nonstop podcast. And there was some pretty big news that happened last night in AEW. I just want to pull it up to make sure I have all my information right because I've not had a whole lot of time to watch it because I've been so busy. So let me pull up my match card here real quick. You had a dog collar match for the TNT Championship. Mr. American Dream, that wants to be, Cody Rhodes took on Mr. Brody Lee. And ladies and gentlemen, we already have another new TNT champion. Cody gets the win in this match, in this dog collar match. And I'm going to ask it because as I've already said on the internet, is Cody the new Jeff Jarrett?
That's what the internet's trying to peg him out to be, is the new Jeff Jarrett, always wanting to be on the king of the mountain, got to be on the mountaintop. I don't see that. This is the thing, and we're talking long-term booking, and that's what AEW was trying to do, long-term booking. They had specifically said, we're not going for the first year, we're not writing ourselves champions. We're going to, and they did. They proverbially buried themselves. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, Hangman, they buried themselves. Now it's year 2. Now it's time to they're wanting to showcase that they can be dominant. It's now that they're trying to show like we're AEW guys. We were here right from day one. We buried ourselves, but now we're going to get back to where we were. We're going to show you that we're supposed to be on top of the mountain, and they're doing with the great stories. And that's why I say this. No, I think this needed to happen because if they're going to set up, like a lot of people believe that there's going to be this, horseman thing, you got to want to have guys that are holding titles. FTR is holding titles. If you're going to say the horseman's coming, FTR is already your tag champions. If Cody's going to be part of it, he's the TNT. He's like your Tully Blanchard. Who do you want better? I would say, everybody's like trying to think of who the fourth guy is. I would say you could either go with Hangman Page if with the riff with the elite's already there. You could throw him in there, or really shock the hell out of everybody and put Kenny Omega when he becomes champion as this new 4 horseman faction, sort of saying like, hey, we did all this stuff. We were trying to be good. We were trying to be and roll with it that way. But no, I don't see him as Jeff Jarrett just yet. If this was like his 4th time winning the title within like 3 months, then I'd be like, okay, yeah.
He's not even held the main belt yet. How do you call him Jeff Jarrett? Listen, I do give some people that watch my show or some people that listen to my wrestling talk, they seem to think that I pick on AEW a little bit. It's not that. But it's just if it's bullshit, I'm gonna call bullshit, and that's on both. That's on any show. It don't make a damn. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a mark. I don't pull just for WWE. I don't pull just for AEW. I want to see AEW exist and succeed, just like any AEW fan does. Cody has done, in my opinion, a great job booking himself. He books it. He does. Is he booking himself super strong? Not really. I mean, think about it. The first year, I mean, he had a match with his brother.
Yep.
He had a match with Jericho. I mean, he's not really doing nothing that's putting him in a position to hold the main title. He's still letting young talent get over like Mox, and that Mox has still got the belt. He's not doing nothing. I just don't see him in like a Jeff Jarrett type booking, because if anybody ever watched Jeff Jarrett matches, Jeff Jarrett would book himself into winning the belt, and he would hold that belt for freaking ever. And if he lost it, he would turn right back around and win it when there was a screw job in some kind of place like that. Someone would screw the other person, and then Jeff would come running in, grab the belt, and take off. He's done that in TNA so many damn times, I got sick of seeing it. I just don't see him.
That's why they called him the King of the Mountain.
The Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny can be called arrogant and all this stuff they want to be called, but at the end of the day, they have not booked themselves super strong. Listen, man, I've said it a million times, AEW made us a bunch of promises that I feel like they did not fulfill. But if there's one promise, and I'll pound it home, that they fulfilled, is they promised they would not book themselves super strong. And they are dead on with that shit. Look at Kenny. Okay, he was a tag champ. Whoopee. We're talking about Kenny fucking the Cleaner Omega here. He was a tag champ.
6 stars before coming into AEW, before this all starts. He's on Meltzer's first time ever. Meltzer's 6 stars. Almost every match that you could possibly think of, he was doing in Japan. 6 stars, 6 stars, 6 stars. He comes and watches AEW. He gets buried, get beat by Mods, get beat by Pac, get beat by every person that you could possibly think of that walked in that door. He got beat by, and then they put tag team championships on him.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that is not him living to his promise, saying, I'm not booking myself strong. You know what I mean?
Not only that, he went out of his way, I feel like, to help get over Hangman some more. Even though Page was over some, I feel like he really went out of his way to make Hangman look more edgier, look more cool. Because when you put a not give a damn whiskey drinking guy next to a vegan who's clean, who don't do no drugs, he don't do no alcohol, he don't do no nothing, it really makes that other character look really, really more superior and edgier. So I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see where people get that.
And just how they played it off, like if you even go back to the Stampede or the stadium match when he's drinking, and here's Kenny with the milk. It's just
I mean, it was great, man. One other match I want to talk about also was you had the Renegade for the FTW Championship was up for grabs. I did not see this match, but I will tell you what I did hear about it. I'm going to go back and watch it maybe sometime this week when I got a little bit of time. I heard Will Hobbs was put over really, really big. He looked like a monster in this match. He's a superstar in the making from what I'm hearing from this match. He did so damn good in it.
That's where I've been hearing the rumors and the whispers of everybody that Hobbs really got super over on this, and that he's looking like he could be the next guy for AEW. So
after the match, Taz rose from the commentary position and issued an ultimatum to Hobbs: join Team Taz or endure a beating at the hands of Cage and Ricky Starks. And Darby Allin made the save, cleaning the heels from the ring. Taz issued further threats. So like Gene said, they are really trying to do long-time storytelling over there. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I will say I'm not a fan of the FTW belt. I know some fans love it. It's just not for me. I don't like it. I think it's cheesy.
I think it has its place. It has its merit when it's done correctly. And the way this was done, it was not done correctly. It was because it almost felt like Brian Cage was whining that he wasn't champion. So he got with Taz, and Taz like, here you go, here's a belt.
Right. It just felt like it was just a cheap way to have another belt there, is what it felt like to me. It was like, well, we only got 2 belts. We need another one. Well, Taz is like, well, I got this damn old FTW belt sitting at the house. Old lady will mail it to me tomorrow, man. I mean, I'll hit her up right now. And it was like, okay, well, that sounds like a good idea. Get her to send it. I guess just kind of what it was. One more thing I want to talk about. Let me find it because I've seen the news on it and I did not watch it. 1 second.
Well, the show was the anniversary show for Chris Jericho.
Yes.
And so you had Hagar and Jericho versus Team Chaos Project, and it's Luther, a guy that's been in Jericho's life for the same amount of time he's been in wrestling, and Luther's always beat Jericho. So this was like a redemption thing.
Yeah, wasn't that match pretty bad?
From what I didn't get to see the match itself, but from what I saw, it was pretty much. I think the ending was Jericho hits a Judas Effect elbow, and it was 1-2. It was not looking the prettiest of matches.
Well, I know I've seen the joking memes about it all day, so that's why I was just wondering because I didn't see it, man.
No.
I was just too deep. I've been too deep and stuff. All right, 1 second. Let me see one. I think I found it.
Mhm.
Whoops. The technology does not want to agree with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Isn't that how it normally works, though?
Oh, yeah. If I was sitting here and went live, I wouldn't have no trouble with it. But it's like, oh, he's live. Hey, let's fuck with him.
Yeah.
By the way, also for the numbers this week, also for NXT and AEW, AEW gets the win again. They beat them out. I think NXT had 600, and it's always like I said, it's always like a 200,000 number difference. Yeah. So they beat them by almost 200,000. I can't find the damn. Well, it's not wanting to bring it up for me. Oh, here it is. By the way, if you watch Impact, Jordan Grace last night or Tuesday night, whichever damn night it's on, Thursday or Tuesday.
I think it's Thursday nights. I think.
Right.
But I could be wrong.
From what I'm hearing, she won. She won the damn Impact Championship over there. What is that? The X Division that she won?
Oh, the X Division title.
Yeah, she won the X Division title, but then the guy told her that it wasn't a title match, so she ended up having to give the belt back. But I've heard big rumors that she's probably going to be an intergender X champion. They're talking about putting the belt on Jordan Grace. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a very touchy subject that some people don't like to talk about, but we're going to bring it up, and that's putting men, or some people have the argument it's not a men's championship because it don't actually say men's on it. But let's be realistic, they have a women's division. That's why they call it women's. But how do you feel about them putting main belts on women and making the belts in gender like that?
Okay. For me, I can't see it happening to your heavyweight title. When that happened with Tessa Blanchard, that's I seen it coming before it was coming. That it was going to end up being, let's say it, a shit show, which it was, because it backs you up into a nest for your story, which could only have turned out, like I had said to the guys, and I said this on Paradigm Shift, the only person that you could get it off of her would be Sami Callihan, and then Sami then renews what it was, which is a men's title. That's the only way that works. And then if your woman doesn't want to play ball, well, then you're screwed, because it's just going to make her look bad when she does lose the title. She can't go back to the women's division, because if she loses in the women's division, they're going to be like, ha, yeah. So it don't work. That's for your heavyweight title. Now, for your mid-card title, like an X Division or an Intercontinental, it could work because we've seen it happen before. Look with China. China became Intercontinental champion. It's really gets down to, depends on the wrestlers themselves. And most of the guys and people that are over in Impact have done intergender because they come from the indies. They had to work with women because the rosters were small. So it's bound to happen that a man's going to work with a woman and a woman's going to work with a man. And it gets and that's how it works. So with the mid-card title, I can say yes, it can work if it's the story's done proper. But you can't do that with your two main. Like once you have a women's division with a women's title, that's where the women's going to be for their main title. If they want to go for a mid-cardy title, like, hey, there's nothing going on right now with you, we'll throw you in the X division, see how that plays out. If you do become champion, we'll think of something when it comes. You know what I mean? But you could do it. You could easily do it with a mid-card title, not with a main title. Main title, no.
I heard a fan today, and this is not my words. This is the words of a fan. The way he explained it was, and it kind of made a lot of sense when he said it. I never really looked at it this way, and it made me feel kind of stupid. I never looked at it this way. Me being as deep in it as I am. Yeah. He made a great point. I think the people that it bothers, it would be the people that has a tendency of still looking at wrestling as a sport.
Yeah.
Like from a sport aspect, like if you really had a woman and a man really in there fighting, beating the hell out of each other. But out of all fairness, Jordan Grace probably beat my ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's a stacked broad, man. She's thick. She's a bad bitch. I don't know, man. The way he explained it though, like if you're still looking at it from a real sport aspect, you're never going to be able to get that part of it. But if you're looking at it from the entertainment aspect, where anything's possible because it's professional wrestling. Anything is possible. It can happen. But I kind of feel like how Gene kind of does. I don't really like it that much because to me that just kind of defeats the whole purpose of you having divisions. You know what I mean?
Right.
A woman's division and a man's division. And to me, you end up booking yourself in a corner when you do stuff like that because how are you going to sit there and say that Jordan Grace is beating the hell out of like a Brock Lesnar type? You know, like, are you going to put her over something like that? The only way you're going to be able to keeping the bet on her is if you're putting her up against people that looks weak compared to her, which would be like some little no-name bottom, mid, like Gene said, mid-card to bottom guy who's, you know, they don't like the word jobber. We'll say journeyman. That's the real word you're supposed to use, not jobber wrestling fans. Real wrestlers don't like that word. So if you ever call a wrestler a jobber to their face, they'll probably slap the shit out of you, and you'll end up like, you know, something happened back in the 80s.
You're a journeyman wrestler. It's like you know what I mean, you go from one company to another, helping out building the brand, building the company. You're a journeyman. That's what Snow was.
There's no secret. There's no secret about it. There's guys that are stars, and there's guys that are journeymen that make them stars look good.
Yep.
And to me, that would be the type of people that you're always going to have to put up against if you got like a Jordan Grace as your world champion. They're always going to have to wrestle those type of dudes. Because if they ever wrestle somebody like a Brock Lesnar type or, you know, like a main caliber star type guy, how can you – I just don't know, man. You're going to have to really play that story right. You're playing with danger fire right there when you do that, too.
Well, I'll just use it this way as the example. We go back and look at the Tessa Blanchard winning the heavyweight title. Her versus Sami Callihan, we had seen her in different places. We had seen them work with each other. We'd seen that. They had worked well.
Good point. Right. It's a written sport. Just like he said, I mean, anything can happen. So, I mean, it's not that it's not that it can't happen. It's like, okay, let me try to put it on this kind of level. David Arquette could never really probably whip no one's ass in real life, but he won the WCW title.
There you go.
It's really no different than that. You know, if you know, you turn right around and have them drop it right after it, I'm okay with it. If somehow someone got lucky with a roll up or interference or something like that, okay. But you really got to watch it when you start telling those kind of damn stories because you're going to offend someone.
That's right.
Eventually, you're gonna make someone mad and really offend them. Like, well, that don't look good for that guy to have been there beating the hell out of her. You know, you ain't gonna be able to put someone like a woman in a storyline probably like a Randy Orton type because that's just gonna be brutal.
Well, you look at, like I say, you go back Tessa Blanchard and you go with Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan. They had worked together. They had business. They'd done this. They had back and forth, and they worked. So they had worked back and forth. They knew how to work off each other. They knew how to play off each other. But then when Tessa wins and then you get Brian Cage and then she still beats Brian, that doesn't make sense to me. Not that, you know, ooh, big, strong, hulking man can't, you know, and woman can't win. No. From a writer's perspective, that's like Brock Lesnar taking on Charlotte Flair. You're not going to injure two stars.
Right.
Because all it's going to do at the end of the day is make both stars look bad. Nobody gets over. Both look bad.
Let's go ahead. There's one more thing, and then we're going to go on over to the plugs, and we're going to shut this show off.
Yep.
Let me find it real quick. I want to go over real fast over what happened on NXT last night.
Oh, I just got to admit this for all those AEW fans. Congratulations, Jericho was at the end. If you caught the credits, everything was Jericho. Jericho
Yeah,
was the writer. Jericho was.
I did see that. It was like Jericho was the writer, produced by Jericho. Like it is.
He was like every cameraman. Jericho. I was like, oh, wow.
One of the things that happened last night, of course, as Gene said, you had. Boy, my mind is just blank today, guys. I am so sorry.
Ember Moon and
Amber Moon
Ryan.
showed back up. Thank you, sir. That's who I was trying to say. I don't know what is with my mind tonight. One of the matches you had last night also was Kushida versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
Ciampa defeated Kushida by disqualification. Y'all, we're moving on down.
Velveteen Dream interfered, and again, Kushida looked dominant and pretty much ran off. Velveteen Dream made him run into the back. So, yeah.
You also had Drake Maverick and Killian Dan versus Everrise. I kind of like this little tag team thing they're doing with Drake Maverick and Killian Dan. It's kind of funny, kind of like picked him up and carried him back.
The only thing about Everrise, they're really trying to push them and make them look like the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they have. The companies do that, like Street Profits and New Party and whatever. You know.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna get into all that, but one thing I wanted to find here, you also had.
Well, Ember was competing. It was Ember and Riley tagging up against to take on Dakota Kai and what's that lady's name that's with Dakota? I can't think of her name. She's the tall lady there. It doesn't sound bad. We're here trying to can't think of names.
I'm trying to think of her damn name too now.
She's feuding with Riley with Riley anyways, and they eliminated each other in that women's battle royal. So this is looking good. I loved what Ember said before the tag team match got made up and everything. Ember was coming back home. She's back here. She's shown dominance, and she said, "Mama wants some gold." So
there was one thing I'm gonna go ahead and just ask Gene. Gene, I seen a rumor, and because I didn't get to catch the end of NXT last night, did Finn Balor drop the NXT title?
No, I taught before we got on here. I taught the top tens, and if he had dropped it, it would have been on there. But no, he did not drop the NXT title.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. I thought I had seen a thing. I see a thing here where it said rumors. You know how the internet is. Being part of so many wrestling pages, they post that kind of clickbait stuff all the time.
Oh yeah,
we're going to move along to shameless plugs. I'm
already wearing one.
Already wearing one. Let's not forget who makes all this happen. Word from our sponsor. That is Pinfall Productions, and it's because of them that you get all these great shows, everything from the Total Nonstop podcast to the show that we have that is running on Saturday through Pinfall, and also through
we have the Deep Gauntlet Saturday. We have top 25 Gridiron on Saturday. We also have our Tuesday, which is the Huddle podcast. We have Wednesday, which is the Paradigm Shift, and Thursday right here, Underground Podcast. So.
Yeah. You can also make sure that you like us on YouTube, comment, share it around.
Also, when you see us on iTunes or iPodcast, whatever it's called, make sure you give us the good old 5-star rating, and don't forget the building fund, because that helps us. And what we're talking there is go on Anchor, try to give us some support. The better support that we get, the better we can make this all happen for you. So
that's right. That is absolutely right. Like Gene said, make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us, comment. Make sure you follow Total Nonstop Collecting page, the Total Nonstop NCAA page. where these shows are also streamed through. Everything through Pinfall Productions is also streamed through those pages. You have many places that you can find our shows. We have, like Gene said, we have a mix of everything. From we also have the huddle for NFL football. We have the paradigm shift for wrestling topics. We have the this podcast for the recap to the wrestling shows. I mean, that's what we do. It's a mix. There's something for everyone, and it's just kind of like if you like to collect, Total Nonstop collecting page is the same thing. It's a collecting page. It has a mix of everything that you could think of to collect, and everything from toys to belts to whatever you can do. Don't forget to check on TikTok and follow Total Nonstop Inc. on there. Make sure to look on Instagram for Total Nonstop. Make sure I want everyone to like them, follow them. Also, if you're looking to maybe be a guest host, pop up on the show, get with your boy, might be able to make that happen. You might want to be on the paradigm shift, might want to be on NCAA football, might want to talk about NFL football, whatever it is. If you have a page and you would like for us to be able to allow to stream through your page, hit us up. You help us, we help you. We'll push your page and help you pump up your numbers for your membership. And because of that allows us to stream through your page and make sure that we can, show all our shows on your page. It's a win-win for both sides. It's a win for any podcast, win for Pinfall. It's a win for your. I mean, that's all it takes, man. I mean, because we stream from, I think what Boss Man said, we got 1,000 viewers basically through the pages that we're streaming through right now. So if I was to mention your page, just 1,000 ears, it could hear it.
That is correct.
It's just a win-win.
It is win.
Don't forget that we also had Mr. Brandon step down, and I'll be filling in for Brandon for the next month or so till he gets some stuff straightened out with what some of the stuff he's got going on.
We cannot wait to have Brandon back, but we're glad that we have you here, Tommy, to fill in for him. So until Brandon's ready to come back, like we always like to say in the pinfall world and in the podcasting world, your chair will always be there. So
that's right, man. Anything else, Mr. Gene Emerson, before we go?
The only other thing I can say is, yes, you can follow myself as well on TikTok. It's at Gene Pettigrew, all one word. You can follow me on TikTok there. So I'm on TikTok as well. But yeah, no, follow us, share us, like us, subscribe to us, do all the fun stuff, because the better our numbers are, the better these things can be for you. And don't forget to follow the Pinfall Network or the Pinfall page on Facebook. Where we actually right now got a poll going up from last night's topic, which was what was the best best stipulation match. That's all up there. You can go be part of that. There's a bunch of other information I put up on there recently. So, and everything from sports to wrestling. So we try to keep our ears to the ground. There's even some entertainment news up on there as well for a new movie that's coming out with Ryan Reynolds. So, hey, just it's there.
One more thing. The NCAA show will take place tomorrow night at 9 p.m. because it is canceled for Saturday, but only this week only. Next week it'll go back to its original day and original time. All right, guys. Well, much love, and we're going to hit you with an outro. And I hope to see you guys, my football fans, tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you next week, where I'm going to probably, because I don't think there's a pay-per-view coming up in the next couple of weeks, is there?
No, not that I know of, except for the 28th.
There's not a pay-per-view coming up. So what I might do is I might put a poll up on my page and put a poll up on the Pinfall page and other things, and see what show people might want next week. One show we've not been able to squeeze in has been Friday Night SmackDown. Now, we've had one on NXT, we've had one on Raw, we've had one on the pay-per-views and stuff, but I've not had a SmackDown. So whatever the fans want, that's what we'll give them. Much love and respect from Mr. the Natural Talent TDC Coburn here, and Mr. Moosey Gene Emerson here, the Mr. Canadian syrup dripping off his chin. What's that dish you keep posting?
Oh! You mean the syrup sipping, promo beaten? The promo feel.
All that they go up there and they tap the maple trees and suck it straight off the tap. Much love, guys. See y'all next week.
you're the next one, then I'm about to kill you. Don't believe it, but I'm betting that you will. Stop, no, I'll let you live a little bit with the pain that I bring. You know it's only the beginning. Stop right now.